Hey guys, it's me, Waddler, and I'm a duck, and today I'm going to show you how to make these exoskeleton legs. So as you can see, I've currently got them disabled, but as soon as I flick the switch, the legs will start running, and I get up to some pretty quick speeds for these legs. And they have a really smooth and nice animation to how they run. So I think they're pretty cool. So let's get straight into the tutorial. Before you build it, you will need the scale tool and the screwdriver tool. So let's get straight into building it. First, start by placing a wood block and then using one scale it up to 24. Now make sure you have these settings. So have anchor blocks on and merging level red, and then place a titanium block. Now scale this block down and scale it out twice. So it's 2 by 1 by 4. And now delete this wooden rod because it's unnecessary. Now we'll construct the basic shape of the leg. So rotate a block 45 degrees here. Then scale it down so it's flat. Then up here so it doesn't touch this foot anymore. And then scale it out 3. 1, 2, 3. Now do this on the other side. Well, up here, do it up here. Place this here. Scale it off so it doesn't touch this. Scale it up. And then scale it 3. So the basic leg shape should look like this. I'm going to paint it because it's quite important, this part. Because I'm going to show you how to join it, and having it painted will make it a lot easier. So now that it's been painted, place a hinge here at the back of the foot. Then place down titanium block. Scale it in like this, so it's 2 by 2 by 1. Then get out scale 0.5. Scale up twice, so it's 3. Then place a block so it's flush with this part. Then scale it all the way down and all the way up like this. And then just scale down a little bit there. And then there. This needs to be in this bottom corner for a reason. It's quite important that it's in that corner for a future step. Now we want to join up this top part, so this piece of the leg. So place down a hinge, then place down a titanium block. Scale it in twice so it's 2 by 2 by 1. And then scale it up to about 4, and then place a block here. Actually, not like, delete this. Delete that block that I just told you to place. I did it wrong. So place a block here, scale it up here and here. Make this flat block that's flush with this hinge. Then scale it up to 1 by 4 by 2. Then place another block that's flush with a part, so place one flush with this piece. Then scale it up twice so it's aligned with this. And this is one leg jointed. Now what we want to do is we want to make the body. So that's quite easy. We place a hinge here. Turn move. Set move back to 1. Then turn off match rotation. Place a block. And scale it down by 1 and up by 1, so you have this thin platform in the middle of this. And I use 0.5 scale for that, so it's 2 by 1 by 2. Now scale out twice this way and twice this way, so it's 2 by 1 by 6. Then go out 3, so it's 5 by 1 by 6. Then I'm going to place this chair in the middle because this is where you're going to attach yourself to it. I'm just going to paint these parts. Now to make the other foot, what we want to do is place a block underneath it, so near the toe area. Then scale out by setting your scale to 9. Then scale it out here and place a block on it using move 0.5. So it's there. Now delete this wooden piece. And we can do the same leg building process as the first leg. So I scale it down, scale it out, Then set move back to 1 and rotate to 45. Rotate this like that. Then scale it down and then scale it so it doesn't touch the foot. Scale it to 2 by 1 by 4. And then same over here. Scale it up off of here. Scale it in. Then scale it to 2 by 4 by 1. And now, using match rotation and move set to 0.5, we could join up this leg. So I place a hinge here, and then a block, and then I'm going to use 0.5 to scale it in to 2 by 2 by 1, and scale it up to 3, and place a block here. I'm just going to paint this leg so it's easier to see. So we'll scale it down 1, scale it up so it's 0.5 thin, then scale it all the way down to be in the bottom corner. That's going to be important very soon. Then I'm going to do a similar thing here. So hinge, then place a block, scale it in here so it's flush with a hinge, and 1 up like this, and scale it to 4 blocks. Then place a block that's flush with this underneath, then scale it down to be flush with this part. So the leg's jointed up. Now just the last joint to put in here. So all the grey stuff we've got will be visible. So this is basically your leg. So the thing that's important that we need to do, I'm gonna do it. So you select the middle segment of the leg, then scale it down to by 0.5. Do this on the other side as well. So the legs are slightly thinner there, or it won't work. So now that the leg's jointed, we can set up the underground mechanics. So you can set your settings back to anchor block, merge level red, and move 1 and rotate 90. And then find the middle of this by clicking it and placing a plastic block. Then scale it down like this to 24. And then place a wheel. And then another wheel. So there's 2 wheels at the bottom of this. Then place 2 hinges at the bottom of here, like that. Now place 3 titanium rods on the top of each wheel's base block. So like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then add in another wheel here and here, like that. Now I'm just gonna delete these rods and then place a hinge on the bottom of this wheel and this wheel, like that. Now what you want to do is on this bottom hinge, place a block, set your scale to 1, then flatten it like this and scale it up to the height of 16. Now set your move to 0.5 and place a titanium pole to connect this foot to this beam, like this. Now I'm going to do the exact same on this side, like this. So scale it to 16, then place the pole. So now that the legs are connected up, the hardest part will come soon. So this is the most important part in building the thing, because if you screw this up, it won't work. So I recommend saving before you do this part. Okay, so now that you've saved it, let's do that really important part. So set your move to 1, then place glues all over it, like on this left leg. So you don't want to just spam them mindlessly. So what you want to do is you want to connect up all the pieces with glues. Or any other block, but don't use a block that you might forget. So use something like wood if you've made it out of titanium. And just glue up the legs so they don't move if you had anchored them. So you want to glue up this leg and this leg only. So this leg should have a ton of glues on it to secure it in place. And I'm going to connect this to the floor with glues. Like that. So it's like this. Now I'm going to use titanium rods, and for the second step these are quite vital for the setup for it. Place it in this corner and then place it in the middle like that, so it doesn't connect to the wheel or the rod. So place it here and then one there. So now we've basically set it up for the hardest step. Now we've just got to do that hard step. So place down a driver's seat, set the wheel torque to green, and set wheel speed to something like 3. Now unanchor it and hold reverse so it goes to here. And you'll see because it hits against this wall. So you see now that this is here, you can anchor it and then delete that chair. Actually, place it back. Now that's anchored, just hit F to clear all your glues and delete these scaffolding sticks that I've placed. Now that you've placed. Now something important you'll want to do is replace these wheels and replace the hinges. But instead of putting them on the bottom, put them on the top. So delete that and then put one back there. So now that's the walking mechanic, but now we need to add the speed mechanic. So place a block. Actually, before we make the speed mechanic, there's just one more thing we need to do to the walk mechanic, which is the leg synchronizers. So place a plastic block, that's scale to 0.5, scale it up 1, scale it all the way down, so it's 0.5 away from this block, and then connect the two wheels together and do the same down here. So 0.5 away, all the way down so it's thin, then connect it up to the other wheel. So this should keep the wheels in sync, so the legs always keep in sync instead of just synchronizing into a weird wobble. So now that's done, we can add the speed mechanic. So place a block there, and then one here, and then you can delete these two. Now using to scale it out, one like this, one like this, and one down. Then scale it out like this, so this is centered on the stick, and then scale it out by 3 in both directions. So 3 and then 3. So scale set to 3. So it should be 6 by 4 by 12. Now what you want to do is add on 2 boat motors and then a switch behind it. So this is basically all the mechanics done, but this is the hardest part for a mobile user, because this can be really hard for them to do, but it's possible. So you want to select all, and then you want to hold shift and then click all of these grey parts, so basically the legs and the switch, like this. So the legs aren't highlighted, and then just invisible it, non-collision it, so you've just got the legs remaining. Now you want to set your wheel torque to green, your wheel speed to 20, and this is the legs are basically finished now. If you want, you can add a portal to get to them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to paint the portal. I'm going to paint it magenta. And I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save it as EXO. I'm going to load it and we can test it. So to use it, you just go through the portal, place a cake, and I like painting my cake grey. Then you jump and unanchor it. So it's currently not doing anything, but we flick the switch and the legs activate. So you see right now I'm just running, and then if I want to, I can just turn the legs off and I'm just stopped. So anyways, thank you for watching and goodbye.